Hello again and welcome back to my shop. This is going to be the final installment of my Intarsia vlog. It's finally finished and I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for following along on this tumultuous journey. This was a fun project to make. It's only about 2 months late. I had a lot of things going on personally and a lot of things going on with the project that slowed me down. But I do think that all of the extra time really helped to enhance the project and make it even more beautiful. I hung it this evening and I presented it to my wife and she was ecstatic. She absolutely loves it. In the past, most of the projects that I've made for her have been Christmas related. This one, having the snowman, can be Christmas related, but it's also seasonal, so she can leave it up for the entire winter season. It's not a decoration that gets put up at the beginning of December and taken down at the beginning of January. So with that being said, please join me for the final installment of my Intarsia vlog. This might not look like much right now, but I'm starting to attach the pieces to the background. And the first thing I want to do is establish my line here and here so that it's flush with the bottom of the background so that it sits nicely on the ledge of the door, on the trim of the door. And then the tree being the center focal point, everything's going to build off of the tree. So once I get these two items, the two snow on left and right and the tree positioned perfectly, I'll go ahead and glue them down. And once they dry, I can start building the snowflakes in the tree and the snow here and you know, the snowman over here, and start putting it together little by little. You'll notice these white areas I left open. That's because I want a nice clean wood to wood glue up. So I left this area clean and empty of any of the shellac or stain. The other thing that I want to do is I've got some 120 grit sandpaper. I'm going to lay this, I've got a countertop back behind me. I'm going to lay this flat on the countertop, of course with the grit side up, and I'm going to rub the back of each of the pieces back and around on the sandpaper to take any, as you shellac it, you know, some of the shellac could go over the edge and form a nice little bubble on the bottom, or make a shellac area that won't accept the glue and stick well to another wood area. So I'm going to rub it on the sandpaper, clean it all off really good so that I get a nice wood to wood glue up, and my tight bond will get a good grip. In an effort to get a good straight edge that will set on a ledge, I came up with an idea of just going out to the garage, grabbing an old piece of trim and clamping it down to the table, and that gives me a nice straight edge to build off of. I feel much more confident using this because I can press the background right against it and then I can lay the snow right against it, and I feel really good about how the tree and the snow along the bottom is laying out. What I need to do now is go ahead and get the backs of these pieces roughed up so that they'll accept the glue, and try to get some of these attached and let them set up before I move in and put any of the other pieces in. I do think what I'm going to do before I start gluing is I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to lay everything on here, get it all laid out, because I want to make sure the snowman's not shifted off to the left a quarter of an inch and you see that, you know, white background. I want to make sure everything is lined up perfectly with where it was whenever I drew the outline for my shellac pattern. So I'm just going to lay it all out, and when I'm happy, I'll start picking all the little pieces off, and we'll go ahead and start getting this thing put together. I've got all of the pieces minus the snowflakes laying on the background. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. There's no white showing through. I got all of the areas that need to be covered. What I'm going to do next is basically remove all of the non-essential pieces. The snowman's going to go out of here, the owl, the snow around the tree. We're going to get all of that off of the background. Once that's gone, I'm going to focus on the snow here, probably the base of the tree, the snow, this snow along in here. This piece will be gone, this piece will be gone. And I'm going to get all those lined up, glued in with the tree. And I'm probably going to let them sit overnight because I don't want anything to move as I'm gluing some of the less critical components on, the ones that don't really center the piece. Everything aligns to the tree and the snow, so that's why it's so critical. And this line right here is critical because that's what's going to make it set level on the ledge of a door. So, all right, it's been quite a bit of work. I had to sand the backs of all of these pieces to get any of the shellac off that ran over. And then I painstakingly adjusted and adjusted until I got everything laying and looking just the way I wanted it. You see I have a couple of the snowballs inserted. The other 3 snowballs are going to require a shim behind them. And a shim is nothing more than just a little piece of wood. And I did take quite a bit of time before I mounted the tree, and I decided how many shims I needed, how thick they should be, so that the snowballs would all lay about the same level. I'm not going to attempt to insert and glue those snowballs in until the tree is dry. The 3 snowballs that you see that are already in the tree, they were pressure fit, and they go all the way to the bottom and press against the back of the board, so they are glued from the back side. The other ones were in thicker parts of the tree, and if you press them all the way in, they go too far below the surface. That's why I'm going to be using the shims. I've been working pretty hard on the piece. I've got everything glued up. I just finished gluing up the snowman and the owl and all of the accoutrements to the tree. Everything is gluing and drying. All that's left to do to finish this piece is the background snowballs need to be glued in, or I guess the snowflakes need to be glued on. But I'm going to let this piece sit overnight and dry. I'll glue those in tomorrow, and the next time I show you a photo of this, it will be complete, and I'll be ready to present it to my wife and get it hung on a wall, and then I'll take a wall shot to include in this video as well. And here is the finished Intarsia. All that I have left to do is to have my wife leave the family room. I'll then hang this above one of the entryways, and once it's hung, I'll invite her back in to receive her Christmas gift. And I will show you another photo of this hanging on the wall, because I think it'll be much different with a lighter background than it will with the black background of this work table. I would once again like to thank each and every one of you for following along with all 16 installments of this vlog. I know it's been a long time. I know there have been a lot of installments, and I do appreciate you guys bearing with me and following along. If you did like what you've seen and you're not already a subscriber, I invite you to please subscribe to my channel. And if you like what you've seen, please like the video. Any and all comments are welcome. And with that, everyone have a wonderful day and happy woodworking.